So despite its somewhat divisive launch back in 2021, the iPad mini 6 has been getting a lot of love recently, especially on tech YouTube. A few months ago, I was lucky enough to find this one at my local game store for a really great price. So if you want to know the truth behind the success of the iPad mini 6 as of late, well, let's talk tech. I'm Agent with Ardently Tech, and this iPad mini 6 comes with a bunch of great features that you come to expect from any normal iPad in a nice, compact form factor. Starting with the beautiful 8.3 liquid retina display that gets up to 500 nits of brightness, the A15 Bionic chip, the 12 megapixel ultra-wide front camera that has center stage capabilities, the 12 megapixel wide back camera that supports 4K recording. It also has Touch ID at the top button, USB-C connector, Wi-Fi 6 support, and 5G support for cellular models, and most importantly in my opinion, Apple Pencil 2 support. I got this 256GB model with cellular at my local game store for $369. That's a pretty big deal because this usually retails at $800. This is the most expensive iPad mini you can typically get. So at $369, it felt like a no-brainer. And for further reference, the 64GB Wi-Fi model retails at $500 and usually is sold at $400 used. So this is a great price, being under $400. I'll talk more about the pricing later in the video, but for now, let's talk about what made me love this iPad mini so much. For starters, the size and portability of this device is unmatched. I mean, look at the iPad Pro 12.9 compared to it. It is massive. It's a massive difference, and despite both of these being iPads and having the same operating system, I use these iPads completely different. My iPad Pro primarily stays and is used with my Magic Keyboard, and my iPad mini pretty much is just used by itself. And the Apple Pencil 2, of course. If you saw my review on the iPad Pro, you would have seen how I struggle with the size difference between my iPad Air that I switched from to this larger 12.9 display, and it really lost some of its portability features from that iPad Air to that larger display. And while I thought the iPad Air was the perfect size for portability and versatility, but this iPad mini definitely beats it in its portability. While both the iPad Air and the iPad Pro you can easily put in your backpack, this iPad mini 6, you don't even need a bag. You can just put it in your jacket pocket, your back pocket, or just in your hand. The size, the portability, and its power does a lot for this device. It makes productivity, creative work, and entertainment really easy. But none of that is actually possible, in my opinion, without the Apple Pencil 2 support. Another cool feature that they included in the redesign was center stage with the 12 megapixel ultra wide camera, which follows you along if you're FaceTiming with your friends and family. As someone who lives far from their friends and family, FaceTime is often used, so having a nicer FaceTime camera is always a nice feature to have. Center stage is not really a game changer by any means, but it is a nice feature to have if you FaceTime often. But the main reason why I love this iPad mini is its versatility. If you want to use this as a productivity device, you can do that. If you want to use it as a learning device, you can do that. If you want to just be leisurely, play games, watch entertainment, any videos, movies, whatever, it's great for that as well. And of course, creativity. Despite its smaller form factor, you can still do all the creative work that you can on the larger iPads, and that's a big win for it. For myself, I often use this for the productivity aspect. I take almost all my notes on GoodNotes 5 with the Apple Pencil, and it's just something I typically will grab if I need to jot down a note, or something if I'm taking notes during a meeting. This is something I will just pick up, and it's easy to carry around because it's not as big as a laptop, and it's just easy to, again, put in your pocket. As for like learning and reading, I like to do Skillshare courses that I often will do on my iPad because it's just an easier device. And again, if I can watch the video and take notes while I'm doing it, it's a great way to take notes and learn at the same time. If you like to read, I wouldn't say this necessarily beats a Kindle, because a Kindle, if you want minimal distraction while you're reading, a Kindle is gonna do that. But if you need something a little bit more versatile than an e-reader, this is a great device to have. But mind you, you might get a little distracted because it is such a great device for everything else too. So you might need to use those focus modes to keep you focused when reading. At least that's what I do. It's a great device for mobile gaming, so if you want to play like Call of Duty mobile, this is a great device. It's a little bit bigger than your iPhone, but it's also not as big where you have to you're playing a mobile game on a massive iPad like I've tried before. You can really get away without using a controller and just using the touch screens on this device, which is really great. And obviously it's a great device to watch TV, movies, videos, basketball games, live sports on. It's a great device for that because of its size. Again, it's convenient. I was never one to watch movies and TV on my iPhone because I just didn't really enjoy watching shows on that smaller display. So I'd always try to watch those things on my iPad if possible. And with this, it's really easy. If I want to watch something while I'm eating lunch during my lunch break, this is a great device to do it on, especially if you're traveling and you want to watch something on the go. Perfect size for watching and enjoying movies and TV. And this might sound a little silly, but shopping on this iPad is actually, in my opinion, a little bit more enjoyable than scrolling on my laptop or my larger iPad. It's just like a nice in-between that is a little bit more enjoyable on my iPad mini than it is anywhere else. I don't know how to explain it, but I like scrolling on Amazon on this rather than on my laptop or on my phone. It's weird. And of course, the creativity aspect of any iPad is still available on here. You really don't need that higher refresh rate that comes with the iPad Pros to really enjoy drawing or writing on this iPad mini. So whether you're using Procreate or any other app that lets you draw, this will be a great size for you, especially if you're just trying to do a quick sketch. Obviously, some people are gonna prefer the larger screen still, and that's still gonna benefit you if you want that. But if you just need something really quick, again, just the pocket, look, just easy. It's really easy. Hold it in the palm of your hands. And I got small hands, y'all, small hands. But I can still wrap this and use this pretty easily. I also love using LumaFusion on this device to create shorts for our channel and for Instagram and TikTok. It's a great device to use and edit videos on like that as well. I also make our thumbnails on Adobe Express and Canva on here because, yeah, it's just a really nice device to do it on. And pro tip for those of you who have heard of Paperlike or want to consider getting a Paperlike screen protector, it does add a little bit of grain to your screen, so it lessens the quality a little bit. So if you want to have something that's a little bit more versatile, get this removable screen protector that has that Paperlike texture and still take advantage of your high quality screen that Apple provides on these iPads. You can get them in any size. I got them for my iPad Pro, my iPad Air, and now my iPad mini. Definitely a must have, my opinion. I'll have an affiliate link in the description below. Now there are also some things about this iPad mini I wish it did have, but maybe in future editions it will. First and foremost is Face ID. I would wish that this would include Face ID. I have no problem with the Touch ID, it's actually really good. I just really enjoy Face ID nowadays, and it's just so much easier, so much faster. My iPad Pro and my iPhone are both Face ID devices, so it'd just be nice if this also had a Face ID, maybe later in the future like I said, but for now, Touch ID is fine. Again, it would be cool to have Face ID on this device eventually. Another thing I'd love to see is the higher refresh rate screens on these devices. I know I mentioned earlier that it's not necessary to have it, but again, it'd just be really great to see an iPad mini at this size with that refresh rate. Also, battery life isn't horrible on this, but it does have a significantly different battery lifespan than my iPad Pro. Obviously, much bigger device, much bigger battery, makes sense. But I'd love to see this device really have a much powerful battery that will hold maybe 2 days total. On days when I use this a lot, where I'm taking notes and watching videos on it, the battery can drain in a little bit over a day. This is not a huge deal, but again, it'd just be nice to have a larger battery. I'm kind of nitpicking here at this point though. But the biggest flaw of this iPad mini that I think really affected its launch and its success in the beginning is the price tag. The $500 price tag for the base model is insane to me. I wouldn't have bought this at retail price at any point, especially because this model right here would have cost $800 at retail. There's no way I'm spending that much for a device that's this small. And at that price point, not only are you looking at similar prices to iPad Pros, you're also looking at similar prices for MacBook Airs. So that's why I think that the iPad mini just didn't do a great job at launch. And it was somewhat divisive because people were like, dang, that's pretty steep for that device. And I would still say that, even though I enjoy it so much. Now, a little bit over a year after its launch, people are now selling their iPad minis used at reasonable prices that people are more willing to buy. Like I said, I got this iPad for $369. That's under 400 bucks. That's more than half the cost of its original retail price. So that's pretty crazy. I don't think you're gonna find a great deal like I did on this iPad on Amazon, but again, check your local game stores and your tech stores that are around, maybe even your pawn shops. You might find a similar price iPad mini in those locations, but if you want to check out Amazon's current pricing, check out our affiliate links in the description below. And if you enjoyed this video so far, make sure to like and subscribe to our channel because here on Ardently Tech, we believe tech was made to make our lives easier. So we're here to help you understand and discover new tech that improves your life. But I don't think the used price of this iPad mini is the main reason why people are starting to enjoy and pick this up now. I think the main reason is the iPad mini is returning to what the iPad was created to be: a productivity, creativity, and entertainment device. Like I said earlier, the versatility of this iPad really does so much for it, especially because it has a powerful A15 Bionic chip. I was doing some great things with the A14 Bionic chip in the iPad Air 4, but you can imagine what I can do with this iPad mini even though it doesn't have that M1 chip. I've said it so many times in this video already, but I really cannot understate how much the size and power combination of this iPad mini really does so much for it. It makes everything that you want to do with this iPad really accessible. Of course, there's going to be people who prefer the larger displays and they're going to enjoy those larger displays. But I think that's going to be a smaller group of people than we thought initially. I think a lot of us are understanding that the Pro iPads aren't really made for us pros. I don't even think I consider myself a pro user. The main reason why I enjoy this iPad is because I can take notes and watch videos on there. And it allows me to do the other creative work that I need to do for this channel on a larger display than my iPhone while still being pocketable and easy to carry around. I think this is exactly what the original iPad was meant to be, and that's why this iPad mini has become so successful as of late, because it returns to that. Sure, you can get the same functionality and convenience on other iPads despite their sizes, but again, the 8.3 display size on this is just perfect. There's no way I can explain it unless you use it yourself. So if you're thinking about getting it, go check out the affiliate links and you can go pick yourself up one there. Apple has a 14-day return if you want to get it from there and return it back if you don't like it. Overall, this is a 9 out of 10 device. It would be a 10 out of 10 if the pricing wasn't as high as it was. Again, if you're thinking about getting this, definitely get it used. Don't get it brand new because it's so much better priced used. I think this is going to be great for anybody who's interested in getting an iPad, whether you're a student, someone who's employed and working a full-time job, or someone who just wants an iPad for entertainment. I think this is the perfect iPad for everyone. But there still might be some of you who might enjoy a larger display, so if you're thinking about getting the iPad Pro 12.9, check out the review I did on the M1 12.9 iPad Pro, or check out any of our other videos right here. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.